Please,
That-
please.
Thanks, everybody. And by the way, say hello to oyster bunnies. Come on up, bunnies. Get up here so they can see
Oyster
you.
bunnies?
Okay, so those are like bunnies who lay aphrodisiac seafood around everywhere.
Can we see the oyster bunnies? Do they come
No.
up?
Yeah,
they do. Do they come up?
Oyster bunnies?
One's got a pair of
Is this
glasses
a pearls before swine joke?
on. He
Oyster
said
bunnies.
Easter, something.
Oyster bunnies.
Oyster.
Okay, I mean, yeah, he did actually fucking say oyster bunnies. But that's still less embarrassing than doing 15 minutes of content on the fact that you can't be bothered to check whether Trans Day of Visibility is the same day every year.
Mayor of
Oh,
London
wow.
said on Trans Day of Visibility, we celebrate London's trans community as they strive to live authentically and safely. And they have this flag where it's got 2 triangles now. Now, I do think it's
I mean, technically, it's got like 4 triangles.
important to point out the mayor of London had tweeted the past several years the same day. So
I wonder why that is, Tim.
I believe this day had been, like, I guess, esoterically the Trans
That's not what esoteric means.
Day of Visibility for regular, for your everyday person. They have no idea what it is. And
What? Esoterically Trans Day of Visibility?
so the White House decided to get on board with it or something like
It
that.
was March 31st. March 31st
Right.
last year.
Yes, damn it, it was. Okay, somebody actually looked shit up. I don't know. This guy, the guy who looks like Putty from Seinfeld, he actually looks things up. That he will not last long on the Tim Poolcast.
A lot
Sounds
of
like
people
Kamala.
saying,
Here we go. Here we
on
go. Here we go. He denies having invented Day of Visibility.
Fox News, you had they had a guest on today who said, not only is Easter potentially the most important day, if not the most important day for Christians, as a Christian, it's the most important day for humanity. And so for Joe Biden to
Well, no, it's the most important day for Christians. You had it right the first time. I mean, I assume I'm not one.
basically say we're doing this transgender thing on Easter
But-
was
Well,
shockingly
he didn't decide that, though. That's just the day it falls on every fucking year.
offensive to people.
But was it on Easter or was it on March 31st that he didn't put 2 and 2 together?
Well, no, here's the big revelation, I suppose. While being asked, so he was asked about Speaker Johnson saying, via the pool, Speaker Johnson called it outrageous that Easter Sunday was Transgender Day of Visibility. What do you say to Speaker Johnson? Biden respond, he's thoroughly uninformed.
Yeah, exactly, because this is, I mean, like, fuck Joe Biden in every single possible way. But yeah, like, you'd have to be utterly uninformed to think that this was Biden's decision. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. Biden doesn't give a fuck about trans people. Like, he has not lifted a finger for trans people in this absolute hour of need over the past couple of years of just horrible shit going on at the state level. But he didn't decide when TDOV was. Like, I think this is just such a anatomy of a nothing burger here, that they've decided they're going to outrage Bade over the fact that he acknowledges TDOV on the day TDOV is.
Question, uninformed how? Biden, I didn't do that.
He didn't.
He did do it. I think
No,
the
he didn't.
revelation here that everyone's been waiting for, hard evidence
That is a creepy ass Easter bunny that he's standing with.
dropped right in your lap. These statements being put out by Joe Biden are not from Joe Biden. Joe Biden doesn't sign off on them. Joe Biden has no idea what's being said in his name.
Wait. This is the angle he's decided to take. That the fact that Joe Biden does not take credit for the date of Trans Day of Visibility is proof that, like, he is not in control of anything at the White House. Like, is that also like Passover is coming up? And I'm going to guess he's going to acknowledge Passover. I wish he wouldn't, because he's just an anti-Semitic fuck, and I really don't like him like touching my people's shit actually. Uh, but yeah, that he would also, I would imagine, deny choosing the date of Passover, but that is not evidence that he is asleep at the wheel. That's just he didn't do those things.
And I guess you can say there's more than one president.
Yeah,
But does anyone surprised by this?
No.
Wait,
No, but-
Democrats?
wait.
No.
So
But
whoever,
it's
That's why they voted
basically
for him.
the hard. It's no longer circumstantial
whoever, whoever comes up with the date for Trans Day of Visibility is also president, apparently.
Wait, but
evidence.
hold on. Is he okay? I just want to make sure. I want to steelman this as much as I can, as someone who gave money to Biden in the primaries and which is
See, the fact that this guy gave money to Biden, this is proof that of how shit Biden is.
paid off in dividends. I mean,
Thank you for hurting me so much.
the lulls alone.
Your student loans?
Point being, the student loans. Yeah, my student loans got paid off when I went to school in the 40s.
This motherfucker's student loans got paid. Mine didn't get paid off.
Is he saying I didn't do that? I didn't put it on Easter, meaning I just put on March 31st. What was it last year?
Right. I think he's
Yeah.
been
It's always it's the same day every year.
this
I'll look it up.
day for the past few
That's
years.
what I'm saying.
Okay, so one person on the Timcast actually bothered to check this out and did not lie about it having done so.
So
No,
Wasn't it?
no,
Wasn't it?
That's what I
31st,
wanna
like, the
find
last
out.
Few years.
That's-
no. It's different
It
every
was
year.
on April 9th last year.
Wait, okay, chat. Trans Day of Visibility, was that on April 9th last year? Okay, no, it's always been, ever since 2009, it's been every 31st of March. Like, I just had to check that because that was so fucking wild. I was like, could they possibly have just made this up?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
that was the
outrageous.
argument
then.
everyone
That
was
is
making.
complete crazy.
It is.
That was
and
the argument everyone was making against him yesterday.
I'm
was
glad
that-
Yeah, because it's true. He did not decide when DDOV was going to be. Ever since 2009, it's been the same day.
Well, I'm
wasn't
glad we
this.
settled that because that's crazy.
Either he's lying and he did know, or he didn't know, and someone was like, "Okay, America Christian, what's their like most celebrated holiday? Let's introduce a
Oh,
holiday."
so they just sort of ignore, like they've all got fucking computers here. They could look this up. They could just Google Trans Day of Visibility, and they would get the same result I just got, which says ever since 2009 when it was first founded, it's been on March 31st.
Holiday on their holiday to disrupt this.
That's awful.
No. Here's the crazy thing: is that London declared the day as well.
I wonder if that's because that's just the fucking day it's on. Yeah, it's an international conspiracy against Easter.
London put up the new flag, which has two triangles.
Oh, wow.
And they said celebrating.
No, you're joking.
I'm not kidding. And they said celebrating Transgender Day of Visibility. And
Can
I
we
was
see the new flag, please?
like, let me pull it. I got to search for it.
Well, while you're searching, why don't you search for Trans Day of Visibility and see what day of the year it's on every year?
Plus, they made Trans Day on Easter a few days before the eclipse, a
But
few days
here's-
before CERN's
Wait,
going on.
Is it Trans Day or Trans Day Visibility? Because probably
Trans Day
also Trans
Visibility.
It's Trans Day of Wow, this is impressive. This is okay. This gets a notorious TFG right here. That is a notorious TFG.
Day.
Oh, for sure.
There's probably two.
Is there a trans?
And
month?
isn't the whole point of being trans is that you're not visible and that you're passing?
Oh,
No. See, I don't think that was the point of being trans. And maybe the people, like, even if that is the point of being trans for some trans people, obviously, those, I'm guessing, I'm just gonna say, I'm spitballing here, that the ones who aren't looking to be visible wouldn't have been the ones to have come up with the Day of Visibility.
but
Yes.
yeah, Biden doesn't get it yet. He's just not there.
Yeah, he's still learning.
Biden's the one who doesn't get it. Well, I mean, he doesn't. Let me just be clear. But not because of this. wow.
Maybe he'll get it.
Yeah, he
By
needs
the
Here we
time
go.
when he grows
Oh,
up.
my ear.
Mayor of
Oh,
London
wow.
said on Trans Day of Visibility, we celebrate London's trans community as they strive to live authentically and safely. And they have this flag where it's got 2 triangles now. Now, I do think it's
I mean, technically, it's got like 4 triangles.
important to point out the mayor of London had tweeted the past several years the same day. So
I wonder why that is, Tim.
I believe this day had been like, I guess, esoterically the Trans
That's not what esoteric means.
Day of Visibility for regular, for the everyday person. They have no idea what it is. And
What? Esoterically Trans Day of Visibility?
so the White House decided to get on board with it or something like
It
that.
was March 31st
Right.
last year.
Yes, damn it, it was. Okay, somebody actually looked shit up. I don't know. This guy, the guy who looks like Putty from Seinfeld, he actually looks things up. That he will not last long on the Tim Pool cast. With that. They don't like people who actually actually fact check them.
So it
Now-
was 2 years in a row.
No, it's actually, 15 years in a row. It's 2024. First one was the 31st of March 2009. That's 15 Trans Days of Visibility.
What I'm really curious about is
What's the second
there,
triangle?
I have no idea. But my question is there any group of people that has more holidays, months, etc. that
Christians?
like
Christians.
Christians have their own holidays. Jews
Yeah, exactly. You just asked.
have their own holidays.
Yeah.
Muslims have their own holidays.
Any
Yeah, and trans people have like 2 days that are acknowledged.
non-religion.
Indian people have their own holidays. I'm saying like this is a quote unquote marginalized group that has more celebrations and days than most other groups.
Because
Do they
it's a.
not?
Really? So more than Christianity? Christianity, okay, chat. I'm okay, not Christian here. No, but I thought that Christianity had rather more than 2 holidays a year. Can you back me up on that? Christianity, I feel like it's got a few. I mean, it's got like the Christmas. That's a big one for them, I hear. You got the Easter, which is the one where they thought they were rid of Jesus and he came back because they hadn't canceled the subscription properly, and everybody kind of freaked out about it, and there was a rabbit involved somehow. I mean, you've got, Pentecost, which, yeah, is something. I mean, I seem to believe that there are quite a few Christian holidays, actually, quite a few more than trans holidays. And you don't even get fucking presents on trans holidays. Or the day off.
Fad.
It's a cult.
It's like it's like the AIDS ribbon. Everything had to be AIDS, and then I just forgot about it.
yeah, but
Pink
this
ribbons.
keeps evolving into something much more
Give
nefarious.
it. You know what? Here's the thing. Let me just take a second because I think conservative.
Wait. The AIDS ribbon evolved into Trans Day of Visibility? Is that what this guy's saying? The AIDS ribbon evolved into Trans Day of Visibility.
Which I'm not one,
Was that also Joe Biden's fault?
but conservatives don't know how to take a win. People should think back about
What's the win?
2016, where every 5 minutes it was refugees welcome when we need mass Muslim migration to the West, and Linda Sarsour was everywhere.
Yeah.
Now, bitch, can I say that word?
I guess
We try
so.
not to because there's kids watching.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, because his entire aesthetic is all about, like, attracting 12-year-olds.
But now that broad is on the side of a milk cart. Now that broad's on the side of a milk cart, and you can't find her anywhere because they just shut up about it.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, which is true. Like, the Democrats, the Democrats pretended to give a shit about concentration camps and kids in cages and refugees. And then Biden took over, and since he's the new Trump, we elected a new Trump in 2020, and he's a different Trump. So now that Biden's Trump, you can't talk about it because then they might have to do something to help refugees. Whereas it was safe to talk back when Trump was Trump. You didn't have to do that because you didn't really have to worry about actually having to do anything.
So hold on, let me just finish my thought. I think as soon as this becomes politically radioactive, which it's increasingly becoming, they're just going to stop talking about it.
It's not becoming politically radioactive, though. It's literally not becoming. I mean, and what was the win here? I mean, what is politically radioactive is anti-trans incitement. In fact, I mean, polls show the people who vote for Republicans also actually are sort of terrified by the amount of incitement that there is against trans people. I mean, and if people who vote for Democrats even more, but even people who vote for Republicans, like overwhelmingly, this is some shit that is coming from above that most people don't want.
I agree, but I think the Sarsour thing was that there were a bunch of articles written by prominent newspapers about how she was claiming this crazy stuff about Jews, and then
well, no, that was racist people in the Democratic Party who didn't want a Palestinian to be associated with the Women's March because they're anti-Palestinian racists.
Democrats were just like, she's cut off.
But that didn't work for Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar.
Yeah, because they're funded through grassroots by like Ilhan Omar.
Well, I mean, it was a different situation by then, and they had to actually like Linda Sarsour was not actually somebody who was like a candidate for the Democrats. I don't remember her being. She was just somebody who was associated with Women's March before they decided they wanted it to be White Women's March. And so like the Democrats really didn't have much use for her.
Omar is funded mostly from the fringes of the internet. Rashida Tlaib, similarly,
Well, the
they have
fringes
their,
of the
their,
internet,
their pockets
says
of
Tim
support.
Pool.
AOC, all the squad members, majority of their contributions come from outside their districts, from small donors all across the country. For Linda Sarsour, she's an activist who has to be hired. She when she does an event, she has to go to someone and say, "Would you donate to us?" A bunch of articles come out with her, the Women's March, accusing them of being anti-Semites and believing crazy conspiracy theories, and then she starts.
Yeah, I mean, entirely just to get rid of the fact that there was a Palestinian on the platform.
To slowly disappear from the limelight.
Broadly speaking, though, those refugee welcome signs vanished. They stopped talking about it
Do
completely.
you think this will be?
Yeah, because the Democrats were never serious about it, and so like those of us who actually were serious about that, we're still talking about it. We're still talking about that shit and but trying to do something about it. It's just that fucking white liberals decided that they no longer gave a shit about it, or like the media shut up about it, so they assume that there's nothing going on, that it's sorted, and the result of that is, of course, that hey, I don't know nothing, that refugees are getting even more screwed than they were under Trump.
Harder for people to divorce from because so many people have their children rolled up into this cult?
There's some feminist scholar, I forget her name, and I apologize. She just did this whole, they went viral on the internet, where she's like, this is going to be really hard because for someone to accept that they did this to their kid is a big pill to swallow. So you have to, as a mom.
And Chet, you have any idea who he's talking about? I mean, we can sort of discount the idea that this person is either a feminist or a scholar.
Keep doubling down.
Right.
And she's correct. And that is what makes this terrifying.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, it's so terrible. People will look back and be like, holy shit, we helped our children become happier and have a life that isn't agony to them, at least as much as it would have been. That's terrible. We should have had their life suck more, because it would have made Tim Pool happy.
It's going to be tough for people to let go of it because
You can't.
Giving your kids puberty blockers.
You can't.
know,
Well, like, why would you let go of it, though?
who knows what?
Oh, that drives me so crazy when they're like, oh, you could just pause puberty. It's like, yeah, because if someone's malnourished and you give them food, they get their natural height, obviously,
It's-
right?
What does he... Okay, what the hell does malnutrition have to do with it? What is any of this?
Fine, we've never done it before,
Yeah.
but we
Well, we only for the past 40 years.
know it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we've only been doing it. We've been doing it for longer than fucking Rogaine. We've been doing it for longer than Viagra, and everybody's cool with that. We've been doing it for longer than like for actually quite a few drugs that everybody is that are generally recognized to be just fine. Yeah, I mean, the first use of puberty blockers have been used in children, both cis and trans, since the early 80s.
That was all sarcasm in case anyone listening didn't know. If
Yeah.
you starve someone of nutrition in their
Well,
early years, they do not grow to their big
let's-
height.
You're
in their
kidding.
later years. No.
Yeah, but what the fuck does that have to do with anything, Moonlord?
Oh, it turns out, yeah, if you stunt someone's
I-
growth, it
I-
doesn't like magically
I'm
return.
proof. I'm proof of this.
Well, let's shift to the other element of the story.
What story that we've established? Your guys there, Tim. They just established there is no story. All that happened is that Trans Day of Visibility happened the same day as every year, and Joe Biden acknowledged it. And Dickhead said, "Why did you make Trans Day of Visibility the same day as Easter?" And he said, "I didn't. That's just the day it is."
Joe Biden clearly is clearly not in charge. I mean, most people have speculated to this. I think what we're seeing is Joe Biden is in charge only so far. And
Like he wasn't in charge of deciding when Trans Day of Visibility always is.
I think you take a look at Afghanistan as to why, as an example of this. When you have leadership like Joe Biden, you get the Afghanistan debacle. Clearly, there's no
What was the debacle? I mean, we're not talking about the 20 years of occupation and torture and mass murder, I'm guessing.
strategy as to how we're exiting, no plan to how we leave the Air Force Base the Bagram Air Force Base.
The concentration camp.
Everything falls apart because Biden wanted to do it. He wanted to move the deadline to September 11th. It was the 11th, right?
Oh, yeah, and then he plundered the treasury of Afghanistan and decided to impose starvation sanctions to punish them for kicking the U.S. occupation out.
Then it all falls apart.
Yeah, the thing is that the U.S. didn't want to leave Afghanistan. Biden didn't want to leave. Trump didn't want to leave, really. The thing is that people in Afghanistan weren't keen on having them. And the puppet regime that George W. Bush set up all those fucking years ago never had more control than a few neighborhoods in Kabul. And so the whole thing fell apart. So yeah, eventually, of course there wasn't a strategy because nobody actually... The people who left, the U.S. didn't want to leave. They were forced to leave.
But then at the same time, you look at
Germany didn't have an exit strategy from fucking Poland either.
statements that are being released for political reasons, and it has nothing to do with Joe Biden. Someone else decided to put out the statement without him knowing. Or
Wait, okay. This is the only way in which the date that Trans Day of Visibility is on could have nothing to do with Joe Biden. That somebody put out the statement without his note. Not say that it's been the same date for 15 years because other people decided this and he's just literally just acknowledging the thing. No, it has to be some palace intrigue.
there's another possibility. He completely forgot he did.
He's still running with this. His dude, Putty, already said, yeah, actually, it's always on this date. It's actually, this wasn't Joe Biden's decision in the first place. Putty pointed that out, and Tim's like, yeah, no, that we can't, we've already invested way too heavily in this bullshit. We can't move on to other bullshit. We gotta stick on the bullshit I started out with.
That's logical.
But I think he's always been, and even his campaign, he's a party hack. It's like when
Well, yeah, yes, but what the hell that doesn't change the fact that Trans Day of Visibility is on the same day every year.
Tuesday in 2020, Bernie Sanders was leading in I think literally every state except for Minnesota, which is Klobuchar, and Buttigieg and Klobuchar got the phone call from someone, and that Monday they're like, "Oh, we're endorsing Joe Biden," and Joe Biden.
Yeah, I mean, this is, I should note, is actually true. I mean, Biden was was at the very bottom of the serious candidates in the primary until this people in second and third place brought their votes together and handed them to Biden, and suddenly Biden was just barely leading Sanders, and Sanders had to drop out because the fucking primary system is an absolute joke.
Biden got the nomination. He's just clearly a function of the Democratic Party. I don't think there's any secret about this.
He's a vessel.
Yeah, a vessel.
He's,
Yeah,
he's a
What does
career
that-
plagiarist
Yes.
too, and now they're plagiarizing
yeah,
him
what the
to a
fuck
degree.
does this have to? Yeah, actually, what he's saying, that's not wrong, actually, either. But what the hell does this have to do with what day Trans Day of Visibility is on? It wasn't his idea.
Because there's people with their hands inside of them.
Wow.
And then so he
Do
doesn't
you
know
want
that
him
he's
to be
being
more of a
plagiarized.
leader? I'd rather have the institution running itself than have this senile corpse.
No,
making
I-
decisions.
No, I'd rather have Biden in charge.
I don't know.
I think
Who's
I've-
Well, I mean, that I'm gonna have to clip that because I mean, that Biden. That's great for Biden that Tim Pool would rather have him in charge. That's how you know that he's just a great progressive leader right there. Tim Pool would rather have him in charge.
Biden though? Like who was ever Biden?
Like,
Who was he ever?
Biden in charge is a guy falling up the stairs over and over again.
Let me plug in the left,
the institution
man.
is like warrantless wiretapping and
Oh yeah,
hunting
right,
down J6ers.
correct. No, that's fair. Yeah, yes.
Yeah, like
But no, I think Biden wants to hunt down those J6ers. The way he talks,
I mean, there's not really much evidence of it. I mean, they're not getting anywhere near the kind of charges that people got for, like, say, protesting the 2016 inauguration or protesting Cop City. I hate him.
about them.
Yeah,
He believes it.
I agree.
He believes it.
With the same type of fervor he had the crime bill in '92.
Yes,
like he
yes,
did have power.
yes.
Yeah, at some point and like to
Great
wield
point,
it.
Shane.
did you
And he let go of that power, and that's why Trans Day of Visibility exists.
see the protester at his speech like last week?
No.
She was yelling something about healthcare, and then he just goes, "Everybody needs healthcare," and it was like
Wow.
you looked into his face when he was talking, and there's nothing there.
Okay, I want to just.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, he is a nothing person. But what does this like? That doesn't change the fact that March 31st is Trans Day of Visibility. I mean, that isn't like if he were a better person, it would still be March 31st.
Get back to what the second triangle is on that flag. Here's the thing.
it's a mirror.
I step back the little.
It's a mirror.
That's what I got out of it.
No, did you look it up? Come on.
No, I,
Why would anyone look anything up? I mean, you motherfuckers have been doing content over the idea that Joe Biden is the one who invented Trans Day of Visibility, and you're asking whether somebody looked something up.
like that interpretation.
I step back a little because I feel like politics is getting stupider and stupider, and
Absolutely.
No comment. No comment. I got nothing.
getting exhausting to me. And I know it's not just because I'm an ancient boomer, but at this point, it's just like really.
It's supposed to wear you out.
You know what this reminds me of? There's this.
Yeah, this fucking this show does wear me out.
Documentary I saw about North Korea, right? And this journalist returned to North Korea, and he's talking to his two guides, male and
What the hell is crwflags.com? Is that? Oh, okay. That is a company that makes flags. Okay, I was just making sure this wasn't some far right bullshit.
female at the ostrich ranch outside Pyongyang, and the guy's like, the last time I was
The ostrich ranch is a real thing. In fact, there's a novel about it called Risange Ondo, The Hill of Ideals. It's about the director of the ostrich meat processing plant realizing that they would need to really bring up their game to be up to international standards, and undertaking an ambitious program of like modernizing existing devices rather than buying new ones. That is a legit thing that exists.
here, I talked to you guys about gays and lesbians. They're like, yeah, we don't have that here. He goes, well, what about people who are bi? And the guy just goes, What? And like that's what I feel now with the second triangle. It's like what are we-
I mean, it is true. The DPRK is officially pretty fucking homophobic.
It's
It's
like when
the-
Matt
it's-
Walsh
it-
was in Africa for his
Yeah, yeah, like,
documentary.
what?
What are you
What
even
are we talking about?
So it's the second triangle.
Well, yeah, I mean, I totally empathize with African people who had to deal with Matt Walsh's bullshit. Yeah, you would be kind of exhausted. I mean, it's like, out of all the fucking white people bullshit that has been sent to Africa over the centuries, like, Matt Walsh really would be kind of a final straw.
Triangle is for
The second coming of Christ. which
black
also happened.
black and brown people and bisexuals.
But that's on the
But
left
what
is
is
the
that?
black and brown.
No, the left triangle is transgender, and the right black and brown is bisexuals.
old school
No, the black and brown isn't bisexual. What?
LGBT.
But why is the black
people.
there thing twice? Is what I'm saying.
There's two different types of blacks.
Because some bisexuals can.
Because it's symmetrical.
That, you know, I
trans.
gotta,
It's
I
not
gotta
just
be
one
honest.
black.
Like the craziest thing about the whole pride flag is, and I think someone did a Man on the Street where they were just like, the pride flag declaration is that black people are gay.
Well, I mean, some of them are.
But it's not. Michael's over here laughing at me. I'm kind of insulted.
Well, I mean, yeah. Like, even your own fucking co-hosts of this podcast are laughing at you. Because, like, you don't make sense.
Why are you laughing at me?
A lot of the problems with the movement is that LGBTQIA plus all are lumped
I'm
into
really glad that somebody who doesn't like queer people wants to give us advice about the problems with the movement.
one group. When a guy's like,
Wait,
"Hey, I am me. Let me just kind of."
So I've put this mask on. Is that drag?
It's both.
Like that. It's just ugly as fuck. It's just what even is that mask?
Yeah,
so. But no. But the
Actually, it
thing
looks like-
is,
race drag.
so
No, regular
Brace drag. I believe that's called blackface. Actually,
drag.
black
Because
people as
are
a
gay.
whole,
Right. Okay.
every black person, every brown person is part of the LGBT community according to this flag.
no, actually, just not.
That's not an exaggeration. That's literally their declaration.
What happened?
Yeah, maybe you could look that up when you're busy finding out where the part is where Joe Biden invented Trans Day of Visibility. Ja, ist ja verständlich. Kommt drauf.
Happened to the circle? Didn't that mean something? There was a circle.
Yeah,
in
the circle I believe was the asexuals.
it. So now they don't exist.
Is that not in here?
Well, did you ever see?
Did you look
who-
deep
Was
enough?
it Miller? Like some company put out the ultimate pride.
This motherfucker thinks that, he's like, I don't even know what this motherfucker thinks at this point. I don't even know whether he thinks. So, I mean, the good thing about that is that, just in Cartesian terms, he may not actually exist.
flag. We talked
yeah.
about it.
Oh yeah, that was a good.
And it
one.
was like 800 flags.
That's why I thought of that when you put this up. I
Man,
thought it was a joke.
It's people that want to belong. That is where all this is all coming from, man. People
What's wrong with that, Moon Lord?
want to belong, and
But they're gonna-
they're gonna
they're
fall
gonna
into some
add
cult
one more
if we don't
thing.
give them something to belong
They're
to.
going to add one more thing to the flag and totally get rid of the original flag.
Why is that? Well, like, what one more thing do you think they're going to add to the flag, Putty? Ja, aber das Afroamerikaner pauschal als Teil der LSBTI-Community gelten sollen, das ist mir neu. Ich habe schon einiges erlebt, aber
And then
Dude,
some
it's-
things will move in to get rid of these things.
I think they're going to move the two triangles together, and then it's going to look like the Confederate battle flag.
and then
yeah, that is exactly why they will not do that. But I'm glad that we're getting this heady speculative fiction on queer vexillology from a guy who is trying to he's gotten like 15 minutes of content out of his misunderstanding of when Trans Day of Visibility is.
and two more triangles from the top and bottom will come together, look like
And
the
Michael's
Star of
over here just
David.
laughing at
Gay
me. And I'm-
Confederacy.
And I'm
Gay
trying so
Confederacy.
hard to make
Yeah.
these great intellectual points.
No,
and-
that's a
and-
good.
What was the great intellectual point he was trying so hard to? He must not have tried very hard because he didn't make one.
Good point.
and have deep insight over here.
Yeah, and then I added on to it, but he was laughing
Deep insights where?
and didn't hear me because there was more triangles making the Star of David. Dude, it's going to happen.
There was a big.
No, it fucking isn't gonna happen. This is where I point out that Moonlord is pretty fucking anti-Semitic, and so what he's trying to do there is suggest that this is all a Jewish conspiracy. And as a queer Jew, I have to say I'm really fucking glad that nobody's had the idea of like putting a star, trying to configure it into a Star of David specifically for that fucking reason.
Gay Nazi movement in California, like in the 50s, so it could swerve back to like the Confederacy.
All
you
I
know?
can hear right now.
No, it won't. What the? No, it won't. Like, these guys in their fucking fantasies.
Oh, it's the Larry David music.
So how do you?
It's just like,
I'm with you on the how just blowing my mind, King B,
am
and
I
how
just
much.
this old? Is that it?
No, you're fatigued.
No.
You got mental fatigue,
Yeah, it's
which is
fatigue. It's
understandable.
fatigue. Okay.
But how do you handle it? You personally, you write books, you create things on your own. How do you inspire other people? Because this is fatiguing as hell to me.
Well, yeah, I mean, it is really fatiguing as hell to pretend that you don't know that you are, like, shocked by the fact that a holiday's on the same day every year, when you've got a laptop right in front of you and you could look it up, but you didn't do that because you're getting all the content, apparently. You're getting all those yucks out of the fact that you're pretending not to know. God, I mean, these are fascinating.
Daily, almost terrifying.
I want you guys to hear the words from Biden himself.
Maybe that's why Biden's like this.
Can I
you know? He's like, "What?"
can I reassure you all?
He's still trying to push this. Putty already told them that this is bullshit. And once again, this dude down here on the bottom right, he hasn't said a word. He's like Clarence Thomas. There's no misinterpreting that. Biden clearly said oyster bunnies. The White House is an embarrassment. Wow. See, I'm glad that there's somebody who cares about the real issues right now. That Biden might have said oyster bunnies.
Please,
That-
please.
Thanks, everybody. And by the way, say hello to oyster bunnies. Come on up, bunnies. Get up here so they can see
Oyster
you.
bunnies?
Okay, so those are like bunnies who lay aphrodisiac seafood around everywhere.
Can we see the oyster bunnies? Do they come
No.
up?
Yeah, they do.
Do they come up?
Oyster bunnies?
One's got a pair of
Is this
glasses
a
on.
pearls before swine joke?
He said
Oyster bunnies.
Easter, something.
Oyster bunnies.
Oyster.
Okay, I mean, yeah, he did actually fucking say oyster bunnies. But that's still less embarrassing than doing 15 minutes of content on the fact that you can't be bothered to check whether Trans Day visibility is the same day every year.
Bunnies.
Biden clearly said oyster bunnies.
Yeah, he does.
Wow.
Show the
I mean,
bunnies.
he misspoke, but I mean, they're
Yeah, you see, they're going to use this to say, and yeah, so they'll be like, so, Mr. President, did you invent oysters today? And he's going to say, no, of course I didn't. And then be like, Biden is clearly asleep at the wheel. Somebody inside the White House is inventing mollusks without consulting him.
there we go.
Oh,
But this
clip
is like
might
of
have-
mice and men. Tell me about the rabbits, Jill.
I did want to jump right into this story, but I think I will for the next
I
segment
want an
because
oyster
I think
bunny.
there's a
Segue to
strong
this.
overlap. This is a story from the Free Press. Quote, I'm 28 and I'm scheduled to die in May.
Okay. Now that there was no segue there. There was zero segue there. I was like, that just went immediately over into that. Wow. That was okay. We are nearing the end, but we might have a couple of minutes. Oh, okay, we got a couple of minutes. Well, let's look at Math Gets Woke in Virginia for these last, like, 9 minutes we've got. This is Caitlin Bennett sass. Well, that's not it, but...
This
you know what I mean.
initiative will eliminate all math acceleration prior to 11th grade. Accelerated classes include geometry, algebra 1, and calculus.
What's woke about that?
They want your kids to be equally stupid.
Is that the rationale, though?
That's what they want from your kids.
Wait. They're considering Algebra 1
Yes.
and advanced. I
Yes.
took Algebra 1 in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
Have we really come this far?
Is that in fact what's going on? And what the hell does this have to do with being woke? It sounds like budget cuts.
In what, 15 years?
What the fuck even
Hi
is
everybody,
this
welcome
opening?
back to another episode of Liberty Hangout Uncensored. We're going to talk today about why you shouldn't have your kids in public school, especially if you live in Virginia. This is such a scary, disgusting, weird, I would say it's really evil thing coming from Department of Education in the state of Virginia. This is coming from Fox News. Basically, I'll sum it up in like 10 seconds here. They want your kids to be equally stupid. That's what
Okay, I can't wait to
they
hear
want from your kids.
what the actual basis for
Not
this
take the
statement
kids
is.
who might be at a lower education and rise them up. It's taking the kids who are smarter, maybe a little better, and dumbing them down so that everybody feels equally.
Yeah, I know. I was actually sitting here thinking this seems like it could potentially be an epilepsy risk now that you mention it.
Stupid, and maybe we don't get to hurt some feelings. This is from Fox News. Virginia moving
Oh well,
to
so we know that this is going to be accurate.
eliminate all accelerated math courses before 11th grade as part
Note that the bottom part is state says framework includes differentiated instruction catered to the needs of the child. So it sounds like they're not getting rid of like accelerated maths so much as they are trying to integrate it into the overall curriculum and introduce some flexibility or something like that.
of equity-focused plan. State says framework includes differentiated instruction catered to the needs of the child. Not if you're smart, not if you're
Also, woke hatte tatsächlich eine Bedeutung. Das stammt aus dem afroamerikanischen Englischen. Und das hat so was bedeutet, das bedeutet so viel wie aufgeweckt. Also wer, also irgendwas von Machtverhältnissen und so weiter versteht und so. Und dann sind Nazis auf die Idee gekommen, also alles, was ihnen missfällt, halt als woke zu bezeichnen. Und jetzt haben wir den Salat.
a smart child. However, they leave that part out. The Virginia Department of Education is moving to eliminate all accelerated math options prior to 11th grade, effectively keeping higher achieving students from advancing as they usually would in the school system. He talks in the beginning about how it would be good for some students, but then he goes on and he's saying, as this is currently being planned, this
Okay, let me see. Provides a pathway for every student. Okay, to be able to take calculus or higher math by the end of high school if they so choose. So the idea is that they're changing the pathway to get to the top, the sort of highest level courses, but they're not eliminating the entire concepts. They're doing it differently.
initiative will eliminate all math acceleration prior to 11th grade. That is
Okay, we don't really have time to get stuck into this one. But, so anyway, thank you so much to everyone who's joined in. Always good to see you all. And let me just say, if you would like to contribute to the stream and contribute to my not my being able to keep my head above water and work on this crowdfunded translation project. I'm just gonna drop this link here. Also, let me just give you the Discord link as well for anyone who would like to join in there who hasn't already. That's where we can keep in touch in between streams. There we go. Invite people. And I will be back Friday at 11:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, where we will resume. Good to see everybody. Have a good night.